love Facebook. Oh my gosh, I am so glad I had my Jesus filter on. It told me I could not sign in. And then I looked down and I was signed in. And as most of you all saw, I was like messing around with my phone. I am so glad that I kept my mouth shut, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. We'll find out. Oh my gosh. So welcome. I know I got a great message for y'all. And I can tell you that nobody really wanted me to have this out, but I am so excited to be with you all today. So we'll try this again. If you can, put your name on there, and if you will, where you're from. And we are so excited that we are hanging out together for real. And just so appreciate y'all being here with me on Wednesdays. And today, oh my gosh, I think you all are going to love, love, love what we're talking about today. So type this in wherever you're at. So that way we can kind of see where you're at. So it is, for fear to shut up, you have to step up. Thank you, Pastor Steven Furtick, on that. For you to shut up, you have to shut up. Oh my gosh, how exciting is that? Who's excited about being able to hear more about that? Okay, good. Y'all did make it back. Yay! Lydia and Marcy and Susan and Beth, thank you. Thank you for your patience. I'll get back and get that other one. So yay for all of you all that went through. Woo, I came close to the old F word. How many of y'all, whenever you deal with technology and like you're working on it, and like no matter where you go, somebody hacked my Facebook account this morning. And so we had to redo everything. So it didn't dawn on me I would have to sign in on my 19 different ones. So that is so funny. So thank you. Thank you. We're glad Christine is here. Mary's here. Hi, Lori Barron's had a birthday yesterday. Yay, Nancy. Yay, Lori. So again, today, type this in. For fear to shut up, you have to step up. For fear to shut up, you have to step up. And I'm going to drill down. Many of you all know that in my group, we've been going through this book called Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. And it was so fun that, you know, how many of y'all, like whenever you're like ready for a breakthrough, like you get a thought, right, of, I want more. And then the yeah, but start, right? Yeah, but. And when that happens, that's where we talk about that thought, that limiting belief. And I have to brag on Lori Barron. She had her biggest team building month in a long, long time. We're so excited. In fact, she'll be one of our trainers. We're super excited. She may not know that till right now. She'd be like, oh my gosh, and she's going to be great. But it's so fun because I have really been under conviction, and y'all know this because this is like my therapy with y'all on Wednesdays, is to really step up to the I have the privilege of being at the highest position, but then there's always, you work to get in the position, then you work with ranking within the position. And so there's just always been something, I guess, that has always, you know, like I always acted like, thought like everybody thinks that I'm there. And but there's always just been something. I've been, you know, working to figure that out. Well, one of the things that I have really been talking to y'all about is the power of affirmations. And last week we talked about Teresa Huntley, talked about that whenever you are ready for something that you've never done, right? We know that action, which I'm going to talk about today, you got to do something you've never done in order to get something you've never had, right? We know that. The other thing that I believe that we've got to do is, like I talked about last week, and that is to go through, when you're visualizing yourself, is to incorporate all 5 of the senses. And so when Teresa taught this concept, we are going for top 10. And so we've never been that high. 13 is as high as we've ever been. We've been working on it all week. And one of my really good friends just passed us up. And so, of course, I'll be helping her to have her best year ever. And in the meantime, though, I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know, like I've talked about it and I've thought about it, and I kind of think about going out, you know, on the stage. But what I hadn't done was done like this total immersion, like an IMAX experience of what that's going to feel like. And for those of us who've been doing what we're doing for a long time, it can get a little stale. This will be my 36th time, my 36th year at seminar. And so praise the Lord, I've walked out on the stage every year and you know, had great accolades, but this year is different. Like I I want more for my area. Like they deserve more. And so when she really started working with us on this, it was to take the five senses. And I want to, and I'm going to be watching y'all online. And if you will, where you're from, I see a lot of our global friends are joining us as well. So when you think about walking into, I know we've got a lot of people in ministry, we've got a lot of people in nonprofits, we've got a lot of moms, we've got a lot of veterans, we've got a lot of people that are speakers, and we have a lot of people from the Mary Kay world as well. So I want you to think about this thing, like this thing that you want to accomplish. And my friend Pam Shaw always talks about like in the next 90 days. So I think it's really important that you can visualize stepping up, and then also short term and long term. So as I started thinking about, okay, what would this experience be when we are recognized as a top 10 area? So if you go through, and I'll get somebody to type this in because y'all are so good at this. So again, where you're from, we're excited to see what country you're from, what state you're from. So the five senses, of course, see. What will you see? So if somebody can type that in, that would be great. What will you smell? So whenever this thing happens, I'm going to take you through mine so you can kind of come up with yours. What will you smell? What will you hear, right? What will you hear whenever you're stepping into this moment? What will you taste? What will the taste be like? Okay. And then what will you feel? Like tactical, what will you feel? And I do want to give credit to this. This came from a selling program that Teresa went through called Ninja Selling. So we always like to give credit where credit is due. So we, kind of take that. She took a portion of that from lots of different selling opportunities, but she really took it for us. So as I thought about that, I realized that whenever I was visualizing this stepping out on stage, and again, maybe for ministry, it's having maybe your auditorium is full. Maybe your students are, you can see all of your students being baptized. Maybe it's a nonprofit and you've got all of your donors. Maybe if it's a mom, it's, creating this, this home life. Maybe you're working to get out of debt and you're visualizing, no debt. So again, wherever you're coming from, there is a moment that you're working on. If not, of course, that is the first thing. So I could see myself walking out on stage. The first thing I'd do is figure out what was I going to wear. And I know that sounds crazy, but like the first thing you got to figure out is what are you going to wear? Like, what are you going to look like? Whenever a woman knows what she's wearing, it's going to happen. So so I had to figure out, okay, so I know what my jacket looks like. Okay, what am I going to wear underneath there? And like, what are my shoes and what is my jewelry? So I put together my whole outfit, and then we all work together because we all, want to be, same colors and that sort of thing like that. So that was the first thing, is I had to be able to literally visualize that. Now I know this sounds crazy. I need to figure out what my hair was going to look like. And y'all are just going to think I'm so crazy, but the more technicolor, the more real it is, what happens is that all of a sudden your attraction factor happens, and it also not only attracts the people to you, it shines a light on your limiting beliefs. And I want that to sink in, because it's not just that I'm going to take action. I don't want to be that hamster on a wheel and just work harder, be busy, do more, because I'm just going to stay on the wheel. Like I've got to be able to knock myself off the wheel. And in order to do that, first of all, I got to clarify this. So this is what I came up with. So whenever we walk out on stage, okay, so there's thousands of people out there. I kept thinking, okay, well, how will I see my people? Okay, so I ordered in these huge clappers. So whenever I walk out on stage, I'm going to be able to see these LED clappers from my people, right? And so now in my mind, right, I'm walking out, I know exactly what I'm wearing. So I'm walking out and I can see my people celebrating themselves, because if I'm on the stage, it's not about me, it's about what they did. And then the whole Mary Kay world gets to see them. They're going to be able to stand up. I got all kinds of things, right? So they're going to stand out from the crowd. What will I smell? Now, this is a little harder. And then I started thinking about, so for you, type in, what will you see? So everybody take a minute. What would you see? Okay. Then the next one is, what would you smell? Well, I've been to all of these conventions for all these years. And whenever I think of the convention center, I just think of popcorn. That's all I ever smell is popcorn. So y'all, I've been eating tons of popcorn. I've been smelling popcorn. So whenever yeah, and we know that smell is so powerful. So whenever I smell popcorn in my mind, right, I'm backstage, I'm getting ready to stand out on the stage. Let me know if this is helping y'all. Start typing in. I know a lot of y'all are on today, but type in if this is helping you at all. So I got popcorn. What will I hear? What will I hear? Of course, you're going to hear the roar of the crowd if you're going out on seminar. But the other thing for us in our pink bubble, they do an introduction. So I called a friend of mine at corporate, Mike Strong, and I asked him to do the introduction of our area as the top 10. And then there's another promotion that we're working on. So he left me this message. Oh my gosh, y'all. And I listen to it every day and it makes me cry every day. And then I played it for our area. And they cried, right? Because this is a big deal, big deal. And y'all, this is the craziest thing. Again, we're already at the top. So, I mean, 99.999% of the people can't even imagine what our area has done already. And it's great where we're at, but we're called for so much more. It's so easy to settle, isn't it? Like it's just like a 1 degree. And so he leaves this message. I listen to it every day. Again, makes me cry. So it moves that. I can hear the crowd. I can hear now I got these clappers, right? So now I can hear, and I know how loud our directors and our consultants are. And so we're going to have that. So I'm going to hear them. And so again, like as I'm walking out, right, I'm smelling this popcorn, I'm seeing that, I'm starting to hear it. Can y'all feel this? Are y'all with me on this? It's so good. All right. Then taste. Well, this is a little harder, so I might need your help. So I thought, well, I don't want my breath to stink, so it'll just be a Listermint. So I always laugh. I keep it right here in my bra. And so, I purchased the girls so they stay where they're at. So I always just put it like right here in my bra. Because one of the things I do find, if you're a speaker, people love to get in your face and have their picture with you, which is fine unless you just had the 19th cup of coffee. And sometimes their breath is unique as well. So if I have a Listermint, it kind of takes care of both of us. And so I always keep one right here. So I was laughing. So now I've ordered in all these Listermints so that I'm going to have that ready. And so again, if you can think of something else, I don't know what else it would be, but like, again, I'm walking out. And then the last one is feel. Okay. So what will I feel? Well, for the last many years, Craig Carter, who's the head of IT, has always been my escort out on the stage. So I can feel his arm, right, as he's walking out, and then I can feel the lights because you walk out to center stage, right, in your arm. And just so that y'all know, for seminar, you don't do this, right? You don't do this because then the flap of your arm keeps going. So I'll do a little stage training for you. You put your arm up, right, and then you move your hand. See the difference in that, right? And just so you know, I work out a lot. And that's why you wonder why older women, right? I'm going to be 61 this year. Of course, Lori is older than me, just so you know. She always is 6 months ahead of me. But like if we go out on stage and we start doing this, look at that. Oh my gosh, I can't even do it. Right? So you got to be, so if you are flapping, right, then you just go out and you just wave. And if you're on stage, right, you want to make sure you do the hand that is away from the crowd, right? Because if they're taking their picture, they don't need your arm and flap all in front of you. So that's why they bring you out. And so you hold your arm up. My friend Candy Brown is the picture that Mary Kay has used for 30 years to show us how to step out and then do that. So you're not going, which I have many pictures like that. So to like just act like you've been there before. So again, just being able to feel the lights whenever you walk out. Now, the one thing I chose not to put on here, but it's the truth, is how much my feet burn whenever I'm on that stage because I'm in 4-inch stilettos. So like if you see us on stage and we're like wiggling, we are excited, but we're also wiggling because our feet are like on fire on that stage. So I decided not to visualize that because I'm believing I'm going to have better shoes. So again, today is about, for fear to shut up, you've got to step up. Well, what do you have to step up? You got to step up your visualization. Okay. How many of y'all are excited? How many of y'all are excited? Because I want you to type this in. Like this week, I want us to just be able to communicate on this. And if you're on YouTube, I think you can do comments there as well. So you have to think about, okay, so remember I talked about the spotlight. So as I've started working on this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know that I have done this. I mean, I probably did it 20 years ago, but it's been a long time. So I was able to up my game. Then what happened was I changed out, right? In order for fear to shut up, you have to step up. So you got to step up what you're listening to. So, Tom and I, we've kind of chatted about what do we listen to. Y'all have heard me talk about this before I go to bed. That's a big deal. A friend of mine, Holly Lowe, just gave us like a gazillion different speeches. I don't listen for how to. I personally listen to inspiration. I love Simon Sinek. I love Craig Rochelle. I love Andy Stanley. Love Steven Furtick. I love like inspirational kind of things to work with. I love Brene Brown. She's amazing. I have to be careful. She cusses a lot, and sometimes I have a tendency to cuss if I'm around cussers, but to be a little careful with that. But find out who your people are that give you new words. The other thing I have to do is to really back away. So you might be a part of groups that collaborate in a way that maybe doesn't fit the way that you think through things. It doesn't make them bad, doesn't make them wrong. But if it doesn't bring you joy and work through that, then make sure that the groups that you're in are focused on the future. They're focused on a solution. They're focused on hope and possibility, and not just on the problem, right? So take a look at who's in your inner circle, who's got your ear. That's going to be a big deal, because in order for fear to shut up, you're going to have to shut up a lot of people in your life. That means that this month in our pink bubble, you're going to do more business than you normally do in order to cross the stage. Because next year, right? How many of you all have gotten to the end of the year and thought, gosh, I just ran out of time, right? I just needed one more month. Well, guess what? June is for this month and next year, right? So this is you building. You want to be able to go all in for this month, because not only are you're gonna cross the finish line, you need to launch really strong. So in order to do that, again, what you want to do is create a new rhythm in what you're doing. And in order to do that, then in your family, be careful what you're sharing. If you're starting a new ministry, or maybe you're trying something you've tried before several times and it didn't work. Okay, fine. Well, I think about Crystal Gardner. I'm so proud of her. Today's her birthday, by the way. And yesterday she wrapped up an unbelievable goal in our pink bubble called Triple Star. And it's something she's worked on for years and years. And she didn't need more skill because she already knew how to do it, but she did have a limiting belief in one section of that. And last year she made the decision, I am going to master this. I am called to go to the top of this company. And as long as I'm shackled by these thoughts, which I know aren't true, and I don't want them to be true, and I don't even have evidence that they're true, but they've taken up residence in my head, and it has become the filter in how I share. I have got to do a massive erase and replace. And so she's done a month early, right? Because she started this year in June of last year. Now she's going for top 10. So again, if you want something you've never had before, you've got to be willing to think like you've never thought before. You've got to visualize like you've never done before, and you've got to erase and replace like never before. So I want you to think about that. So again, we talked about visualization. We talked about, who in your inner circle do you need to make an adjustment on? And then the other thing, I just wanted to go into this. Are y'all hearing some good things? I hope you're hearing some good things. I'm excited to kind of read on here. We got a lot on today. So let me know what you're thinking. So this again is T. Harv Eker. This is the book that you hear me talk about a lot. This was the book that shifted the way I thought about money. And I know that I've taught about this before, that you can do all of the debt reduction tools out there. But if you don't change how you think, you're going to be back in debt again. I know, because I did it 3 massive times, and it had nothing to do with the amount of money I made. It had everything to do with how I thought about money. And so I just want to kind of go back. So again, I'm called to doing this top 10, right? So I get all these things in place. Then my girlfriend, Lisa Madsen. So I just thought I'd put it on here too. made the decision to make the run for number one. And she decided to do it. She was going to do it on stealth mode. And so she was just going to quietly do that. And she was teaching all the nationals. And then she just put it out there. And then it was funny because the gals that are ahead of her, she's like, "Now, I just want y'all to know that I am all for y'all having your best year." And then she told the story about her first follower, the person, it happened to be her daughter that caught this vision, and she rallied around all of the directors. She rallied everybody around and got everybody excited and shifted. And because Lisa was so excited, like literally she blew my hair back. Like I have not even slept since day before yesterday. And then she was on again talking to the top directors, and then she was telling more stories. And then I'm just like I couldn't sleep last night. I got up early this morning, started typing out what are the things that I really do have in place, right, for us to step up, not only to top 10 this year, but to inner circle and, next year. And so again, like it's these 1-degree pivots. There was a time that you all had a dream. There was a time that you all had a goal, and you probably even went after it for a couple of years, but then you got tired of talking about it, and your family got tired of hearing about it, and you got tired of making excuses. And then all of a sudden, then you just like lower the bar. And because you're doing better than everybody else around you, and this is an okay life, and this is an okay ministry, or this is an okay nonprofit, or it's okay, right? It's okay. But we're not going for okay. We are Sparkle Sisters. We are not meandering in the maze of mediocrity. We're not going to do it anymore. None of us. You got to reach out to each other. None of us are going to do that. So again, so she's talking about all of this. So this morning, I read in that book from Steven Furtick. I told y'all about that. So for fear to shut up, you have to step up. Type that in again, right? For fear to shut up, you have to step up. So today, my lesson that I was reading was, it was so funny. It was wealth file number 16. And isn't this so funny? Okay, I'm going to kind of review this for y'all, then we'll wrap up. Hope y'all are loving this. Okay, wealth file number 16. Rich people act in spite of fear, and poor people let fear stop them. Are you kidding me? I get up this morning, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, could there be any more? And just so that y'all know, my just to be transparent with you, every time I think about the numbers of people that it would take to do this step up is massive. And my thought was, whew, that's a lot. I don't know if I'm willing to work that hard. Now that is crazy. I know, because y'all know I love to work, and y'all know I love to do what I'm doing. But the idea of trying to make sure that I've got everything in place. And that's whenever I was convicted this morning, because I've been working on this for a couple of years, was to type out, what do I have in place? If we brought in this amount of people, or we had this amount of activity, what would I need in place? So y'all, I start typing this morning. I'm just typing. What do I have for training? What do I have for vision? What do I have for events? What do I have? Like just going through this. And here's the crazy thing. I have everything in place. I think there's 4 videos that I need to do. But if you would have asked me, I would have said, oh my gosh, I'm so far away from that. And it's not that I would relish, I would be delighted to work with that many people. But in my mind, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to like redo everything. But in reality, I had been putting all those things in place already. And I wonder how many of you have got a lot more in place than you think. And even if it's not in place, I bet you know what it would take to get in place. That you are so much closer to erase and replace that limiting belief, right? And if I'm dealing with it, I bet a lot of you all are dealing with that. So I do this brain dump this morning, right? Then I get to this wealth file. And that's whenever one of my students asked me this great question. They ask, how do you know you're hearing from the Lord, right? How do you know you hear from God? Because we know there's no audibles out there. Like, there's a voice from the Lord. We don't, that's not it. And I believe that she asked me that question to open up my heart and mind, because ever since I had that conversation with her, I'm just being affirmed over and over and over. I'm capable, I'm worthy, I have the skill, I have the ability, I have the systems, I've got the best people. And because I have a limiting belief, I'm holding back the greatest generation of leaders Mary Kay's ever seen, my dream team family, right? I'm holding them back by my limiting beliefs. And that hit me. And then it showed up in my reading. It showed up in who I was listening to. It showed up in who I needed to get away from. It showed up, right? That's how you know whenever you're hearing a conviction is you hear it from a lot of different places. It's in my Bible reading. It is from the Word of God. It is from my sisters in Christ. It's in everything. And what I believe is that whenever you all get this clear, the answers to recognizing that limiting belief so that you can erase and replace it, it's all there. Can you imagine, Sparkle Sisters, how powerful we are going to be when we all come face to face with that? Can you imagine the people that are going to be loosed because we take action and quit thinking? Can you imagine the stories that are going to be told? That's what I want for you. And it may not be on a stage in front of 10,000 people. It may be 10 people you just need to share about Jesus. It may be you stepping into foster care. Maybe it is you volunteering. Maybe it's you making more money to give more money away that enhances somebody else's dream. Maybe it's you being able to be present with your children. Maybe it's you to be present and passionate with your spouse. Maybe it just starts there. It's not the bigness of your calling. It's not that. It's that at the end of our days, are we going to be able to say, I went all in, that I was not controlled by fear? Okay, so just as I'm just going to just kind of read this, he talks about affirmations, meditations, visualizations are all wonderful tools, but as far as I can tell, none of them on their own is going to bring you real money in the real world. You have to take action, right? So action, he says, wealth principle is the bridge between your inner world and your outer world. Fear, doubt, worry is amongst the greatest obstacles, right? So if action is so important, what prevents us from taking those actions? Fear, right? Therefore, the one biggest difference between rich people and poor people is that rich people will act are willing to act in spite of fear. He talks about Dr. Susan Jeffries, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It was the first book I read decades ago. Like there's a bazillion people that wrote their books. My book even is based on a lot that I learned from her, right? He talks about that it is imperative to realize that it is not necessarily to try to get rid of fear in order to succeed. Rich and successful people have fear. Successful people have doubts. Rich people have worries. They just don't let them stop them. And unsuccessful people have fears, doubt, and worry, but they let it stop them, right? You're either a person who will be stopped or you're a person that won't be stopped. Type in, right? Type that in. Are you going to be stopped? Right? Are you going to be the kind of person that is unstoppable? Type stop or unstoppable, okay? If you're only willing to do what is easy, life will be hard. I'm going to say that again. If you're willing to do what is easy, life will be hard. But if you're willing to do what is hard, life will be easy. What is that hard thing you need to do? Right? Y'all are experiencing this with me when you saw Brandy and Hannah, whenever they were talking, my Lion Chaser sisters, when you listened to Ashley, they came face to face with the hard things that they need to do in order to live that life. Talks about why is it important that we act in spite of discomfort, right? Because comfortable is where you're at now. If you want to move to a new level, you must break through your comfort zone. He talks about CZ equals WZ. Comfort zone equals wealth zone. You're only making the amount of money, right? I like to call it income, impact, influence, right? Income, right? The amount of money you're making. Impact, right? That's how you're impacting the people, directly, tactical, more like that. And then influence is more relational, more on a worldview that you're able to increase that. If you want to be rich and successful, you better be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And then he says, comfort kills. If your goal in life is to be comfortable, I'll guarantee you two things. First, you'll never be rich. And second, you'll never be happy. You'll never be happy. Happiness does not come from living a lukewarm life. It is always wondering what could have been. Happiness comes from the result of being in our natural state of growth and living up to our fullest potential. What? Oh my gosh, that's like pom-pom thing, right? I'm going to say that again. I just love how he wrote this. Second, you'll never be happy. Happiness does not come from living a lukewarm life. It always wondering what could have been. Happiness comes as a result of being in our natural state of growth and living up to our fullest potential. Okay, so now I'm going to wrap this up. And he talked about, this is what we talk about right now. Decide right now that your life would be better if you chose to think in the ways we've been describing instead of the self-defeating mental habits. You get to choose your own thought, okay? Your own thoughts. This week, here's what I'm going to challenge you to do is share this, whether it's on YouTube, join YouTube or on here. And again, this does not make me any money. So I'm not making any money on this. What I want you to do is build your accountability. And what I want you to do is I want you to share this with 10 friends. And I want you to be able to come up with your see, smell, hear, taste, and feel. I want you to come up with that affirmation together. I want y'all to listen to this message. So for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing the message. We're going to have Miranda Rains coming on doing something really fun the last week in June, like just getting your colors in place and getting your look in place. But I wonder for all of you all out there, right, for fear to shut up, you've got to step up. What do you need to step up? Let me know. Type in really quick. Do you need to step up your visualization? Do you need to step up your thinking? Do you need to step up your inner circle? Do you need to step up into uncomfortable? Okay. Y'all, there is a whole world waiting on us, Sparkle Sisters, waiting on us to shut up fear and step up into our life of excellence, because together we are too blessed to be stressed, too anointed to be disappointed, too equipped to be whipped. Have a miracle-filled week. I love y'all. Bye-bye.